Live? No, yes, just
Yes,
about.
we are. Let's
Yeah.
check to make sure we are on.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And Mary, I'm guessing you are the host today. Yeah.
oh, we are live actually.
Are we live? Okay, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hello,
So are
everyone.
you hosting or am I hosting? And
You
how would you
are
like it to
hosting.
go? Eh?
You are hosting.
Am I? My hosting is a number of questions I normally ask,
Go
right?
ahead.
Plenty of them. So, good
Bring it.
afternoon. And has your afternoon been good? Because where we
Yes.
are, it's afternoon.
Yes.
Excellent. What have you been up to today? It's a gorgeous weekend.
I woke up feeling a bit tired, so I stayed in bed just to chill.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you can say I've had a lazy morning.
It's okay to to have a lazy morning. You know why?
Yeah.
Because one of the things I was talking about this morning is accountability. And being accountable doesn't mean all the time cooking for your family, cleaning for your family. That's not all of it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of it. So
Yeah.
resting and chilling is also part of accountability. So you need to take a breather. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
don't take care of your body, if you don't take care of your mind, your spirit, you are not able to take care of the rest of them. So
That's right.
it's
Yeah.
okay to chill. Even if you wake up around 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, I believe
Yeah.
it's fine. It's good for to go. So, Mary,
That's,
today we are talking about parenting,
yeah.
right? And if I'm not wrong, there is a word about successful parenting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
before I start throwing questions at you, do you have any general comment? Or before that, are you able to welcome the guests who are coming through? Because we are streaming, I think, on your wall.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so we need to welcome people to come in before I start throwing questions at you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Yes. So you know what? Okay. I started
Yeah.
streaming from my phone. Welcome, everyone. Please tell us where you're joining us from. What country? Yeah, and what time is it where you are? How's your day been? Well, our time here is about 3:08, and we're in the UK. So, hello, you're welcome. Yeah, over to you, Esther.
So, Mary, thank you. I am your guest number one, and I am in the studio. So, way, let's rejoice, okay? So, Mary, with the topic of parenting, I know you are a younger parent. I am an older parent, not because of age, no, just because of the
Yeah.
children. Yeah, I am 20, with 30 plus years of experience, you see. Yeah, not 30 plus, no. Yeah, it's just getting there. Yeah, about 30 years of experience in life, but I'm 20. Yeah, here,
Yeah.
here, I feel like a 20-year-old. So, when you
Just
are
go.
telling me about parenting, just imagine I'm that 20-year-old, right, who doesn't
Yeah.
have children yet, and I'm trying to find out what successful parenting is all about. Okay, let me check in my little library of questions here. I don't know whether they're
Oh,
called library of questions. Yeah. So you've come up with a very huge topic, success and parenting. So I'm going to
yeah.
start with the very first word that you've said there, success, successful.
Yeah.
In general, yeah, in life, what is the meaning of the word success? Or for you or for anyone?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a word that I've actually pondered on
Mm-hmm.
this whole week, and I think I've seen a lot of posting about success, success. Personally, I think success
Mm-hmm.
means it has different meanings to everyone. I think success is when you aim, to accomplish something. When you have a goal and you accomplish it, meeting it, and it depends on where you are in life,
Mm-hmm.
as a person, as an individual, as a parent, it depends on where you are, and that's probably where you would measure your success upon. I mean, sometimes, the world, societal pressures, we tend to measure our successes with other people. I think that's the wrong mindset. The only person you're in competition with is
Yeah.
yourself. So it's got to be you, where you are, and then what you wish to accomplish. So that's something I've had on my mind all week.
I think I'm successful. I don't know. Yes. After you tell me this afternoon about the parameters you use for success, one thing I know I'm successful at is smiling. So that one I can do. Okay. So the next question, what parameters can we use to say that? Now I'm bringing in your second word, that parenting is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what parameters can we use to say that parenting is successful?
Okay. Again, I will still say success means different things to everybody, including parents, everyone. So what you want to your children to achieve, it depends on you. And what is success, it depends on you. So there's sometimes that maybe my success for my children, or my success story for my children would be, I just want to see my children happy. I just want them to be confident in themselves. I want them to be healthy. So we have health, we have success and wealth. So so I just want my children to have lots of money. I'm working really hard for them money. Or we have things like education. I want my children to, have the best grades here and there, and then we have health as well. I want them to have fantastic health. I want them to be healthy by eating healthy, by exercising, the activities you plan for them, and then you have like societal attainment. So like status. I want them to be popular. I want them to be known out there. So it all depends on what you want for your children, but never look at another person's success and feel I am not doing enough. Like I said, it is different for every parent. So you have to be confident or know the purpose, why you're having your children and what, you would like them to be in the future.
I'm going to be a bit sneaky, right? Into your personal life now, because you've given me a general picture, right? And that general picture, I believe there is a specific picture for you, a snapshot. Yeah. You don't have to give us the whole big picture, but you can give us just a snapshot of the success in one of the areas. I don't know whether to give you a choice or should I choose?
It's up to you. It's
up to me. Then I'm going to go through everything. So a snapshot into the success in health. So what would count as a healthy child?
Okay, as a healthy child, my children we're talking about, they are full of energy. So I tend to do activities that energy, for them to get rid of that energy. They like to, what they eat as well matters. So like my children, the eldest is quite fussy food-wise. But he will still eat his fruits here and there, and then he has his main meal. So what I provide, for meals for them, they're sort of healthy options. I like to cook. So, sometimes my children probably want things like chocolate. Well, David of recent wanted chocolate for some reason, but as when they were babies, they've only had water and things like that. So the options, and then with like weather as well, keeping them healthy, whatever weather, like when it's cold, I'm always very intentional about what they wear, what they put on. Like one of my children, they have a health condition, so I have to make sure that he's wearing the right clothing, and so that keeps him healthy. I don't know if that answers the question. And then there's sleeping well.
Okay.
Sleeping.
Okay.
them healthy too. So I'm really happy that I've been successful in their sleep routine. I can say that because they do sleep well. They have their bedtime routine, and yeah, I learned that from when I was at uni, and I wanted that for my children. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm successful in that.
So, in a nutshell, I think you've spoken about their eating, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
food, their sleep, and their play.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Or have I missed something? I hope I'm
No,
right.
you're
Okay,
right.
I'm just gonna come back again into your personal life again. So, what does it
Okay.
mean for a child to have an experience of well being? And if you want, you can touch on character, you can touch on discipline if you want, but just the
Yeah.
well being. Start with the mind, maybe, how
Yeah.
the child emotions and their thinking. Yeah. What can you kind of define that to be as in
Okay.
being successful? Yeah.
Okay, I mean, for my own children, like I
Mhm,
said, I want to see them happy, in
mhm,
themselves and in the way they behave to other people. So, like,
mhm,
if I see that they've been unkind or, they've done something, I mean,
mhm,
discipline-wise, I discipline them. They know not to, So they know that. Like they know what our values, family values are. They know that
mhm,
they're loved because for you to be able to instill all these things into a child, they need to know that they're loved. And that I can say, my boys, they know that they're loved. Mommy and daddy love them regardless of anything. So that's one success.
mhm.
I remember, was it yesterday? One
Yeah.
of them, he got into trouble, at
Okay.
school.
Mhm,
When teacher told me, they
mhm.
said this is out of character for him,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he did know because coming out, he knew that he
Mhm.
shouldn't have. And
Yeah.
as soon as I was told, I mean, I had to make that point there, he
Mhm.
had to go back and say sorry to the teacher. So he knows
Okay.
um, how to behave and yeah, love. They need to know that they feel loved in their well-being. They need to
Mhm.
know that they have a secure environment. They need to be able to express themselves freely.
Mhm.
um Ask any question, and you can be emotional if you want to be, because I can be emotional too. It's just expressing your feelings, how you're feeling, and yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I'm moving on, and I'm still on to your personal case, Mary. Education. So,
Okay.
how or what can you count as successful learning or education for your child or children?
Okay.
Mhm,
Okay. I mean, I will start
mhm,
education because, okay, when they are babies, I mean,
mhm,
sometimes we look into them to like nurseries or childminders. Because I'm a childcare professional myself, I always
mhm,
say to parents, go to the setting, have a
mhm,
feel, take your
mhm,
child with you, have a feel, because
mhm,
you can tell when you get to a place that my child will do well here, my child
mhm,
will be successful here. So have them in mind, make
mhm.
the decision almost with them. They may not be able
Okay.
to speak at that point, but you
Mhm,
can tell from the reaction, because even babies, they communicate in different ways. It could be crying, smiling, they
mhm,
can communicate. So we must always include them in the decision. And now on to school, because my children, they're school age now.
mhm,
Starting school, when we went around the schools in the area, and yeah, got David was the first to go, so got him involved in the decision making. I mean, meeting the head teacher and the children in the school. We had a feel, and David was happy, so that was why we settled for that school. Now,
mhm.
now in the academics, now doing the schoolwork. I mean, there are times that they're not doing well. I mean, we have to be patient with them.
Okay.
Even when they're not doing well, help making them know that they're loved. You just have to keep trying harder and harder,
Mhm.
and try and help them really.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
in the pandemic,
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
was the whole lockdown, like hours just to help them catch up. We were still doing extra lessons, be it online or whatever. So just to help catch up, because they needed to catch up on things. And I can tell that it's been beneficial to them. So getting them involved and, just helping them out.
Brilliant. You're answering them very well, these questions. Now, I know your boys are still young, right? But they're no longer the babies. Yes. So they go to school when you're left with the other ones that you take care of or educate at early years.
Yes.
But when it comes now to the career path, right? For example, have you already kind of imagined what David is going to become and what Jonathan could become? And then have you started like telling them maybe this is a good career for you, or do you leave them to kind of flow into the paths that you think they're flowing into? So I'm thinking of career and later on maybe what they will do for wealth and income.
Okay. Honestly, I mean, the future is in God's hands and it's in their hands. I mean, from now we can see what their interests, what they're interested in, like through their play, to encourage, by buying them things to help them more or to play more with a particular, like say David now, he at some point he wanted to be an astronaut, so what we did was we bought a year pass for the Space Center just so that he can go and see what, the space education is all about. And even one of his birthdays, he had the whole costume. So making him experience the whole thing about being an astronaut, whether or not you'll be an astronaut, I don't know. But time will tell. It could be that next year it will change. We don't know, but we'll keep going, encouraging them the best we can, whatever they decide to do. I mean, they have very good role models. Their dad, he's very hardworking, and they can see what he does. Their mom is hardworking, they can see. So they have role models around them, and I believe they'll make the right choices because we've taught them well. So, I don't have anything in particular to say, okay, David will be this, or Jonathan will be this. Whatever they decide to do, absolutely fine. They have a purpose of their own.
Yeah, I'm asking that question because in my days when we were growing up, it's like our parents decided, Esther's going to become a doctor, and so on. So will become a lawyer, and so on. So it's like in this family, we want a doctor, a lawyer, and I don't know who else, engineer, right? Okay. And once they have decided, it's like they decided we are going to have 3 children, and each one of them must take on this role. And it's like they instill until even when you're going to university, you don't know whether you're going to study for your parents or you're going to study for yourself. And it can be difficult. Yeah. So, so this is related also to the question that I was kind of wanting to reconnect with that. So how can we know that the things we push our children to succeed in are right for them or not right for them? So I don't know if I've asked it right. How can we know that the things we push our children to succeed in are right for them? And I'm going to take you back to the few things that we have already mentioned. Okay, health is good, obviously. But when it comes to education and career, and sometimes character, right? So I know you're Christians, your family is, but sometimes you have parents who are not ascribed to any religious practice or anything like, how can I call it? Maybe a code of ethics, except the ones subscribed to them from schools or work and all that. So how can we know that whatever we are telling our children that this is successful, right, is really the thing that is good for them?
I mean, they have their own purpose. And as a Christian, we pray, or as Christians, we pray that, their purpose is accomplished. So, that's one way we do it. And like I said, it's from their interest as well. So, we see what they're into, what they're good at. And, eventually as they get older, you'll then be able to communicate more fluently, about what they would like to do. in picking their subjects, for A levels, for university, you'll be able to communicate. But I feel it is important for parents to have an open mind, because maybe, like you said, from Africa, we almost, our parents used to pick what they wanted us to do. Like, well, mine, I was opportune, At first, my dad wanted me to be a doctor, but growing up, secondary school, I hated blood.
Okay.
I hated blood, and then I think I failed maths woefully, so that was out of the question. But now I seem to be better in business. Even though I wasn't doing so well in math, I was still able to understand a bit of, business studies and things like that. So I was allowed to pursue that. And that's why I'm, doing my own business now. So we have to listen to our children. We have to allow them express themselves. I think that's a way of knowing exactly, if they will be successful or not. Because if they enjoy what they're doing, come on, the sky is their limit and beyond.
That's right.
So allow them. You have to communicate. You have to love them, because with love, every other thing will come together. Like the wealth, the health, everything will be able to look after themselves. So yeah.
Excellent, and thank you. Now we have a question, but before we come to that question from one of our viewers, I have one last question among the content, the success parameters that we had. When you defined success, you said one of the things is to do with the social standing, right? So where do you want your children, your boys, to be standing in the society? Or what is it that you're looking forward to as in their status in the society?
Oh, good. I just want them to be good people, to love themselves and to love people, in their society, in their community. I mean, whether or not they're popular, I don't care. I just want them to, love what they do. Just work hard and, look after themselves, their family, and people around them. I mean, I grew up in a political home, and I think most people thought, I would go into politics automatically as the first child, but no. Not that I'm happy I didn't, but we all have our own different, we have our purpose. So that purpose need to be accomplished, and we have to allow our children to make that decision when they're old enough to do that themselves. I don't know if that answers your question.
Kind of, yes, particularly the one you said you just want them to be good and to fit in the society. That's a very good standing. I was waiting for you to say I want them to be popular, to be famous, to be rich. No. Okay, well done, Mary.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a question from our Mr. Neil Hutchings, and he's asking this. Mary, Mary, do you ever face issues of sibling rivalry between your boys? And if so, how do you manage the situation? Are they rivals, and how do you manage the situations?
Okay. Are they rivals? No. My two boys, thankfully, they are very, very close. They are I would say they're best friends, hence why they have the name David and Jonathan. If you don't know about David and Jonathan, go in the Bible and find out. They were best friends in the Bible, and that's what we prayed for them to be best friends. I remember when Jonathan was born, David, you dare not say you're taking Jonathan away. Oh my, he'll rip you apart. So, they've always been best friends. Now they are two different children, very different. David is very calm, collected. He lets Jonathan get away with anything. Almost Jonathan feels like he's also David sometimes, But David, I think as a big brother, he does know how to look after his brother. So I won't say it's rivalry, it's more of
Mhm.
David looking after his little brother. I've not seen
Mhm.
any rivalry apart from Jonathan. He's very cuddly. So sometimes if he wants to be cuddled and David is on me, he sometimes comes to push David aside, you know. But that's Jonathan just wanting that attention. So rivalry, I've not seen that. And hopefully I won't,
Mhm.
you know, see that at all. They'll continue to be best friends. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to respond to us and tell us whether it has been answered. And I do believe, yeah, I've seen your boys. Okay, I know the little one is bossy. Yeah, so I don't know whether the Jonathan of the history was also bossy. I don't know, but I know he's a little man who can be bossy. You do this and you do this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And even you, he can give you instructions sometimes. So I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know, but good instructions. Anyway, let me just have a quick look at. Okay, I had one other question. Yeah, maybe the closing question. You
Right.
know, when you look at role models,
Mm,
right? Who are the role models for your children? You know, at the moment, they may not be able to choose the, I mean, how can I say, in the paths that we want them to succeed in,
mm.
yeah, they may not be there yet because they're still watching cartoons and Spider-Man and yeah, but the role models, as in the people in the society or outside of the society, who do you think could be somebody you admire and say, I would like my child to be like this person?
Okay. I mean, first and foremost,
Mhm.
as Christians, we are teaching them in the ways of the Lord,
Yeah.
and their biggest role model is Jesus, you know.
Amen. Yes. Yeah.
And then, you know, they love reading the Bible.
Mhm.
And Bible stories. So you have people like David in the Bible who showed, you know, a lot of bravery and courage. You have Esther in the Bible. She too, she was.
Yay. Yeah. And I'm another Esther in their family. So there we go. I can feel good.
And you are brave too. So
Yeah. Mhm.
you know, and they, you know, they have us as role models. We are very hardworking. I mean, we try
Mhm.
our best as their
I
parents.
know that. Yeah.
And they have uncles, aunties, you know, that's bringing it back home. They have uncles, aunties, grandparents. They have friends, you know, that can be their role models. All we are trying to model to them is to be good people, to be respectful and respected. Um,
Mhm.
you know, and now talking about, you know, people out there, but I feel like charity begins at home. So once they've, you know, been able to get these role models at home, then we can look
Mhm.
at people like, you know, presidents here and there, prime ministers, but we look for the good attributes because everybody has their own bad attributes. So but we look for their positives, and then we say this is how to behave, this is how to, you know, be respectful, this is how to be respected. Now work towards it, work hard, and be good people. We don't want them on the streets. So yeah.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Now, Mary, I'm just going to try to summarize everything you've said in less than a minute. I hope I can. Yeah. So, hope for me. So, you have defined success in general as something that someone can accomplish or can
Yeah.
achieve, or something that somebody can aspire to and then
Yeah.
accomplish that. And you have touched on the areas of good health. You have touched on well-being, education, and a little bit of career path because these children are still growing, and a good social standing. I don't know whether I've missed on anything, and we have also touched on the role model. So you see 30 seconds of summary. Haven't I done well? Anyway,
Done well.
so is there anything you think we have kind of forgotten and something you would like to comment on?
No, I think we've mentioned everything. But what I would probably like to say is, you know, every child has a purpose. Just like we adults, you know, we all have something that we're going to be, or we're aspiring to be. So let's allow these children make their choices. This is me speaking to maybe people in Africa because, you know, we have a tendency of wanting to decide things for our children. Involve them, speak to them, communicate with them, understand where they're coming from, or even if you don't, try to understand, you know, and most of all, love them. love them, because wherever there is love, everywhere, everything like success, wealth, they'll come, accompanying the love that you have for them. So yeah, that's all I have to.
Mary, I'm gonna just put a last twist to the whole story. Okay.
Okay.
You are a child of your parents. Do you think your parents have been successful parents? Were you very cheeky when you were growing up? Were you the best child parents can wish for? And if yes, what is one thing you can remember about being so good? And if not, what was the naughtiest thing you ever did? And your mom was like, Mary, 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 Mary. Yes.
You're putting me in trouble here.
Okay, no. I want to. You can't be talking about success in parenting. You have parents, and I have parents, but because you're on the spot today, yes, tell us the good things and the bad things. The good Mary, the naughty Mary, yeah, and how hard it was for your parents to really succeed. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with the one naughty thing I can remember.
Just make it clean, Mary. Okay. Make sure it's a clean one. If I told you my naughty ones, you wouldn't like them. So, but yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, my dad was mad. Mm-hmm. And for my dad to be angry with me, that one. It was in Gambia. Okay, we lived in Gambia for a bit, mm-hmm. And I don't even remember. Okay, no, I was refused my phone. I think that was when all this Motorola phones started.
You had a phone, Mary, at school. Wow, spoiled child. Anyway, go ahead. Yes.
I was grounded from having it because, we were diplomats, right? And obviously, because of security and things like that, we weren't just allowed to do whatever. So I think I was trying to be rebellious, and I was refused my phone, and I got angry, and I went to go and hide on top of the roof.
Okay. How high was the roof, Mary? I'm worried now. I'm thinking, Mary, 2-story, 3-story. How high was the building?
I think it was a 2-story.
What?
High, but
you naughty girl.
You could go up there. It looked like a rooftop, whatever.
It was more than a tantrum. I mean, it was like, I'm gonna climb the roof and I'm gonna go and. Did you want to commit suicide by any chance?
No. I just went to hide to teach them a lesson.
What? Now, something I'm able to kind of read in between the lines, right? I don't know whether it's the right thing to do. So I know where Jonathan gets some of the lines he uses. So I know some of the genes now. Okay. Yeah. What about the good part now?
Looking for me. They looked for hours.
And you're just there teaching you a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you a lesson. Another day you will let me use my mobile phone.
Honestly, yeah.
Next time we will talk about a kind of a situation like that, because your boys are growing and they will be needing phones. And what about when they say, I want a smartphone that is about maybe 2,000 pounds then? So will you be going to buy? You never know. We didn't know we could be buying mobile phones for 600 pounds and such. Like, you never know. Yeah. In my days, I think 70 pounds was enough to spend on a phone, right? So yes. You don't know, but it's preparing. You just remember that story so that no one goes on the roof. Okay. Okay. The good part now that makes your parents proud and say, this is my daughter.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get into trouble here, but I've always been called the favorite child.
That's one.
Actually, I think there was a point that if anybody wanted anything from my dad, it would come through me. So that was cool.
Okay. The daddy's girl. Yeah.
I've always been a daddy's girl, and it's been good because I've been able to get everything I want. So spoiled in a way.
Yes, well done.
I can't tell you
Wow, well done.
Yeah. So, Mary, I think that's been good. Do you want to challenge me on that? Please don't, please. Yeah.
Yes.
Mary. If I told stories here, people will be laughing at me and they wouldn't be seeing the semester anymore. I was never a naughty child. I have always been a good girl. You see, right? Yeah, I've always been a good girl. Yeah. Okay, one of the things I never used to like to do, yeah, is getting a wash. I think I could go from Monday to Friday to another Monday to another, 7 days. If no one told me, Esther, it's time to go and shower, I was fine, right?
Oh,
You know,
wow.
in the village, nobody asked you. At least I had a dress. You know, in my village, some kids were half dressed, but at least I had those. So it could go brown and brown. My favorite colors were red. You know what? And thankfully, the uniform was red.
Oh,
Now,
good.
the unfortunate thing, the blouses were light green, not light green like what can I say? Yeah, some type of a light green that can show that. So I didn't like that. But I had 4 of them, right? So I'd wear one on Monday and Tuesday, repeat it. Then wear another one on Wednesday and Thursday, repeat it. Then the one I wore on Monday, I repeat it. And then I wouldn't wash them for next week until they would be brown here. Right?
Dirty.
Now, I don't know whether that was naughty or just being dirty or just being lazy. I don't know, Mary. But when the kids went down the river to wash, it wasn't one of my agendas to do. No, it wasn't. Anyway, as I grew older, you can see now my face is nice and shiny. I do wash my face, Mary. I do wash every day.
Well,
I'm no longer the same girl. On the good side, I don't think I was, I couldn't climb up the roofs because I don't like heights. Yeah, so if I did anything wrong, right, I think I would just go quiet. If they told me, Esther, now go to sleep, I would go to sleep. School, I tried my best. But one of the things why I was trying my best is because I wanted to come out of this village. Yeah, so that I don't blame any work that I was being given and say, this is what is kind of just tying me in this village. I wanted to come out of that place. I didn't like it that much. But one day I did come out of that place. As a child, I can't remember so many kind of the things. Some of them, if I say it here, people will say, oh, filthy, and all that. Yes. Yeah. So do you know, have you ever heard of worms called ascaris? No. So you see, if I talked about it here, deworming. So because of the way I was, you know, like I didn't wash. Obviously, hands were never washed when we went to eat. So if the body is dirty, the fingers are dirty, the food we are eating is dirty. So there was a time the parents would come and say, now today we are deworming everybody. Deworming everybody. And you'll be given this tablet. Yes. And all of you, the kids, I don't know whether it was done in your village. Now, these are village kids. You are a town girl somehow. So the day you take those, you're telling your sisters and cousins and your brothers to keep a watch, because once those things started coming out, you will hear somebody screaming, snake. Right? And, oh dear. So those are some of the things out of ignorance, right? And our parents, I don't know whether they were also not so keen on hygiene or anything. I don't know what was happening, but we survived. We are here now. But you see, I'm older than you, right? Because I lived with my grandmother when she still had those traditional jewelry, and she even had long ears, and she used to clean shave her head completely. So she was a typical village woman, and to her, if you wanted to shower, just go swim in the river, you'll be clean. But even that one we didn't do anyway. Anyway, that's part of it. I don't know whether I've spoken about being naughty and being nice. I think I was a good child. Somehow. Somehow. Now, the naughtiest thing I've ever done is pinching cream. You know, we used to milk, and then boil the milk because we didn't have a fridge. And as you boil the milk in the morning, you also boil in the evening. By morning, it has a very thick, nice cream. I still love cream even now. I go to Asda and buy a tub of cream and eat it, right? So do you know, with my very dirty fingers, what I would do? I would just go and scoop and eat. But I forget, as I scoop it, it leaves a big hole, And then later on, I would go and scoop another one. And 3 times the whole cream is gone. And as
Oh,
if
dear.
no one is noticing. But I think my parents were lenient on that. Because obviously, if the cream is gone and it's this thick, and I never had anybody ask me at all, up to today. So thank you for not ever pinching me for the cream. They would pinch me for other things. You know, if I did what you did going up the roof, I would have been a half killed. I did that one day. A half killed. I mean, a half dead, right? I did try to follow my stepdad one time where he was going, and then I got lost in the bush, right? And I couldn't find my way back home very quickly. So everybody was looking for me down the stream.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that day, Mary, the caning and the pinching on the thighs, on the cheek, on the back. I was so caned, and then I was told, go to bed now, Esther. You won't even have supper. And I'm thinking, one moment you are looking for me, you are thinking I was dead. Everybody in the village was worried. And now you want to kill me when you found me anyway. That's how much discipline could have been. So that's the worst beating I've ever kind of really experienced. But I never did it anymore. I'll never forget that one. I'll never, ever. But I thought I'd never do anything like that to children. No. Yeah. Anyway, Mary,
we'll talk about, beating and, the way we were beaten in Africa, some of it as it could be seen as child abuse, because sometimes you're just being flogged for whatever reason,
Try to tell them that was successful parenting, Mary. I think some of us, if they didn't do that, I think we wouldn't have been where. I don't know. I'm not advocating for child abuse. Sorry. Anybody watching this, I'm not advocating for that. No. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying then they thought it was successful parenting. Even school, they had corporate punishment. You're late. Yeah. And even 3 teachers could be doing the same. Yeah. There we go, Mary. Wow. I think we've given a little twist, a little chili. Yeah. In the parenting success story. So another day we could talk about different ways of disciplining children and the past and the present and where we are going to in future. Okay, hopefully. Yeah, we live by faith. Yeah. Any other comment, Mary, before we call it a day?
That's lovely.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully this video can save and some people can watch and leave their comments and let's know. Let us know if there is other topics or any other thing that you would like us to respond to. We will be happy to do so. Okay, thank you, Mary. Now, to you as you close the meeting.
Okay, thank you. See you soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Yeah.
Bye.